I mean, the Monomod is purely a nice little gameplay mod. The new thread mod actually has lots of new and extra content. So I guess on a like interest comparison, the new thread mod has just much more to it than this mod. So the only reason why I would equip these two materia, why I would equip the Knight of Dawn materia, is because it gives you magic plus 8, which is actually kind of significant. Also, every single of Emerald Weapon's attack that is not percentage based, and his Emerald Beam is percentage based, any of those attacks that are not percentage based are 1-hit KOs. So every single of his attacks basically kills me. Well, I guess you will see. I mean, at least I don't have to care about my HP, because, I mean, if every attack kills me, it doesn't matter how much HP I have, as long as it's more than 0. So I don't really think this is gonna work, but I guess we can try regardless. I use Sneak Attack Hades because Hades inflicts slow. Unfortunately, I don't have a Sneak Attack slow combination, so we have to watch this fairly slow attack. No, someone dies, but we don't care about that. I mean, the good thing is, he doesn't have enough MP. Well, that's an issue I didn't really consider. So essentially the damage I deal will come almost exclusively from gravity attacks, which Ammo Weapon is not immune to. Should I even care to revive Sid? Let's see. Probably. Only I should have used the Mega Elixir. This battle is already going garbage. Yeah, for some reason, if you're using headphones, this is only coming on the right side of the speakers. I'm not really sure why that is. This is gonna kill everyone, and there's really no way to prevent that. Unfortunately, Sid does not have enough MP, which is an issue I didn't really consider. This attack is percentage based, so it cannot kill you. Cloud is gonna counterattack with Ultima 3 times, and this should take care of the ice. It will, so that's good. So we will have more demi fun. Eventually I'll have to switch to using Demi 3, because Demi will eventually not deal 9 and a 9 HP of damage anymore. Also, I didn't really consider any other attack I could use for damage than this. Like, once his HP gets too low, all I really have is Ultima. Oh, it's actually already doing less than a 9 HP of damage. Interesting. I mean, now we get to hear at least another sound effect. I don't actually know how much HP it still has left. I mean, you could probably calculate based on the last Demi 3 you see. That was less than 1,000 of damage. I think if I use Ultima it's dead. Well, this also wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. I thought this would be much worse. I guess I can go and actually beat the final bosses now. Yeah, I knew I muted myself. That's because I scratched my ear, which I thought you didn't really want to hear, but if you still want to do so, then just tell me. I'm gonna make sure you can hear my central ear scratching next time. So now that I don't have to worry about my materia anymore, I can actually make some more realistic materia combinations that do not focus on grinding AP. Actually, you know, in the game, Safer Sephiroth gets stronger for every character at level 99. So maybe I should at least have 3 characters 99 to have a bit of a challenge. You like turtles? Well, that's good to know. I guess. Is there anything else I want to do? I don't really think so. Unfortunately, there's no ASMR tuna mukbang yet. That has to still be made. I mean, there's even different types of tuna for sushi. I mean, you have at least 3 different types of tuna. I mean, you have like the fatty tuna, then you have the like medium fat tuna, and the basic non-fatty tuna. I mean, if even just sushi has various varieties of tuna, nah. Can you imagine how much tuna there is eaten outside of sushi? Vegan tuna? I mean, I actually saw like some weird YouTube person once make a video on vegan salmon, which, like, I mean, how can you call salmon vegan if it's not vegan, if it's not salmon? Like, what she did was she made carrot sticks kind of look like salmon, but it wasn't salmon, so like, isn't it kind of silly to call food a name if it's not even the food you claim it is? I mean, I have heard of the Impossible Burger, but I mean, burger doesn't really tell you that it's, like, a burger can be anything. Like, a burger doesn't have to contain meat, so I don't find that name deceptive. But if you call it salmon, and it's carrots, but not salmon, then that is kind of deceptive, isn't it? You know, I actually had jackfruit for the first time not too long ago. Jackfruit kind of tastes interesting. I also think that none of those encounters are even worth fighting. Like, it seems like the only enemy you should fight in Northern Cave to get XP really are the magic pods. The Monomod is a mod which increases, not increases, but which sets all your stats to 1. So, you have garbage stats. Your HP is set at 270, it's capped at that. And your MP is capped at 88. So it's like a challenge mod. So I want to get my 3 characters here to level 99 to just make safer Sephiroth a bit harder. For every character at level 99 he gains extra stats, so because my other characters are at level 60 or something, I don't really think it's worth it to get them to level 99, but I can try with at least these 3. Well, life is pretty often about sadness, so I'm just trying to have some realism here. Well, it's called a mover, which, I mean, it kind of looks like a materia. Yeah, you can morph them into a protect ring, which is a fairly rare item, a fairly rare piece of equipment. The only other way to get one is to steal them from one of Schizo's hats, which you probably won't because that's very random. And they are the encounter with the single most source of AP out of all the random encounters in the game. They give you 800 per piece, and because it's 3, it's 2,400 from the whole encounter. Hey Charlie. So anyway, as I said, I'm just gonna keep grinding here until all my 3 characters at level 99. So that Safer Sephiroth is actually a bit more of a challenge. I mean, since I've already killed the weapons, all of them, I feel like the final bosses should be even easier. And they probably will be. Hey Neuro, I am good. How are you? No, it's not kind of. It's not a kind of food. Why would you even think it's a kind of food? What about Monomod makes you think of food? So you haven't actually seen any of this mod? I mean, if you look at my HP, you might get an idea what this mod does. And also my MP. I mean, I guess you mean why mine HP values are so low. That's just because of the mod I'm using. It caps your HP at 270. Oh, for some reason I thought you were I completely misread what you said. You mean AP? So you wonder why enemies give you so little HP? I mean, to be fair, you don't really have to master that many materia if you're just playing the game casually. I mean, the most AP any materia needs is 500,000 for Knights of the Rounds. I mean, that looks like a lot, but it's not even that much. You can probably grind that much AP in an hour if you do it here with a triple AP weapon. I mean, 500,000 AP with a triple AP weapon is 167,000 AP. That is 167 magic pots. And if you factor into fewer movers, it's probably more like maybe 100 magic pots and 20 mover encounters. That could be in an hour, I think. Maybe a bit more than that. But I think less than 2 hours. I mean, Flash is actually a pretty useful materia for this. I wonder if anybody has really used that in casual gameplay. I mean, Flash is the upgraded version of the slash all materia that you get in the Ancient Forest. And at level 2 it becomes Flash, which is an instant death attack on all enemies. Which is quite useful for this grinding section, but I feel most people wouldn't have really used it, because if you have both Slash and 4x cut equipped, Slash all overrides 4x cut, and generally speaking 4x cut is, if you have a single target, much more useful. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where you would normally get elixirs and mega elixirs, like without W item. I do not play this game in that way. I think you can get them from Master Tomberry. I believe he drops mega elixirs, or maybe you can steal them from him or something like that. But where you would most reliably get elixirs, I don't know. Oh, you can morph them? What exactly morphs into elixirs and mega elixirs? Oh, interesting. You can morph Vlacarados into elixirs. I mean, Vlacarados is the enemy that you can steal carob nuts from, right? The one on the northern continent that has, I believe, 33,333 HP. Is there another way to get elixirs though? I mean, I know you can also win them from the gold saucer, or somewhere there, I believe. But that probably is not fast. Oh, yeah, interesting. Gigi is the enemy that appears with Christopher. I mean, in the original Japanese version, the W item exploit doesn't exist, but I mean, the W item materia exists in the original Japanese version. However, there's I mean, the W item glitch actually has like two parts to it. There is actually a way to reduce the number of items you have with W item. I mean, if you just select the first item and then abort entirely, you have like one item less than you did before. I mean, you can use this not only to duplicate, but also like to remove items, and that glitch exists in the original Japanese version as well. So it seems that they did this very lazy workaround to kind of rectify the glitch by basically adding a beneficial glitch next to the detrimental glitch, which they didn't really fix, but they just added like a new glitch to kind of counter the negative one, which is extremely lazy programming. I mean, yeah, you can try it yourself. If you just... When you use W item and you use the first item on someone, but then when you can select the second item, you leave the menu entirely, the first item is used up essentially. It's not used, but you lose one copy of it. And if you do that repeatedly, you can basically lose all your items. So what they did is they added this glitch to basically get one copy back. And of course you can exploit that, to do that repeatedly, to just duplicate items. I'm not sure if they did that intentionally, but because I've played the original Japanese version before, and I've actually streamed that one. So because I've played that version, I realized that this negative part of the glitch, it's in that version, but that the W item exploit isn't in there. However, in every version after that, it's in there. I'm fairly sure that what they did is intentional. I mean, it seems like that's their workaround to that glitch from the original Japanese version. I mean, otherwise they would have had no reason at all to change the mechanics of the W item materia, right? I mean, to be fair, they kind of fixed the original glitch. It's still in there, but unless you're an idiot and you don't know how W item works, like, you would probably notice at some point that if you choose the first item, but then you decide you don't want to use W item at all, that you eventually have fewer copies of your items, and that's pretty glaring. So eventually you would see that, and then you would also notice that if you do it the other way around, you can get your items back. So if you use W item a bit, you very quickly realize how you can work around that original negative glitch. I mean, maybe the developers didn't really care enough that... maybe they didn't expect people to find out about this exploit so easily. Or maybe they didn't care. Yeah, I mean, apparently FF7's release history is one of being time constraints and similar stuff, so it's probably a kind of rushed release, which explains why there's so much glitchiness in the game. I mean, all of those more game-breaking glitches like jumpy warping and battle mode warping, those are actually fairly new discoveries. But I mean, those things really do break the game. Those swung warps. Hey, biodegradation. I am good, how are you? I'm just actually doing some grinding on magic pots to get my level to 99. So earlier I already killed all the weapons, now I'm just getting 3 characters to level 99, so that Safer Sephiroth is more of a challenge. He actually gets extra stats for every character of yours that is at level 99. And because my other characters are at level around 70, getting everyone to level 99 would probably just be too much work, so I will just bring these 3 to level 99 and then go and fight the final bosses. I don't know. I mean, I've played some rather disagreeable mods, but I think I've finished even those mods. I mean, there is a mod for FF8 called Requiem, which is also a hardcore mod, and that mod basically just relies on you getting lucky in some battles. And I finished even that mod, even though it was... like, that mod was kind of too hard, but like in a broken way. I mean, it's not like the battles were very strategic or anything, you just had to get lucky with certain outcomes. and hit rates and people not dying and that kind of randomness. So it wasn't a very well balanced hardcore mods, but I finished even that one. I mean, if you don't finish a mod, it's kind of... I don't really like not finishing a mod because you don't get to see the entire game then on that mod, and you don't really get to have a complete opinion of the mod, so I generally like to finish mods, even if they're shitty, just to prove myself in how I see them. Yeah, I mean, there are right and wrong ways how to increase a game's difficulty. I mean, just making like, you can have a hardcore mod that is not a very good one if you require the player to just get lucky in certain battles. I mean, that's not very hard, that's just frustrating and kind of stupid. You know, actually, since Gjoerulv Synthesis still gives you 60,000 XP, I could probably stop once Juffy reaches level 98, because she'll still get a XP from Gjoerulv Synthesis, I believe, if she doesn't die. So I don't actually have to reach level 99 in this section yet. I just need to make sure to get sufficiently close to that, so that she can reach level 99 from Gjoerulv Synthesis. Actually, let's call that sufficient for now. I think this should be enough. Wait, did I actually save? I mean, I expect that everyone will survive Gjoerulv Synthesis. I could be wrong, but I don't really expect her to make for a very difficult fight. I mean, in terms of FF7 mods, I have only really had this mod, Sega Chief's new threat mods, and Gjoerulv Hardcore Mod, these three. And out of these three, Gjoerulv's Hardcore Mod is by quite some margin the hardest. Oh yeah, I have also done Necrosis. What is Nemesis? Is that an FF7 mod as well? I've also done a mod called True Necrosis, in which you start the game with 9,999 HP and 999 MP, but you cannot heal at all. Like, every time you lose HP or MP in that mod, it's permanent for the rest of the game. Like, if somebody dies, they will stay dead forever, and there's no way to heal. So that's also a fairly interesting challenge mod. Yeah, I bet all the ones I have done so far. So I kind of hope I'm gonna still get a few encounters on the way to Genova Synthesis, because then I still could get some more XP, and I could also show off some more encounters, see how they go. I mean, even though I have so little HP and defense as well, I don't really think those bosses or those enemies will pose much of a threat anymore. I mean, they are probably by far weaker than the weapons, and since they're already dead, this should be fairly easy. Well, you don't have to see Pandora's box. I mean, if I encounter a dragon zombie, there are various ways to make sure it's... I mean, even if you see it, you can reflect it, but you can... I mean, I could give him a Turbo Ether to completely deplete his MP, so it doesn't have enough MP. Or you can also do this and petrify it. If you kill it by petrification, then it cannot use a final counter, like Pandora's Box. So there are multiple ways to not have to worry about that attack. But I can also show you the other thing. I will just give him a Turbo Ether, and with that Turbo Ether, it will not have any MP more, so it doesn't have enough MP to cast Pandora's Box, which is really kind of pathetic. If I use Flash, I actually fully restore him because he absorbs death. So this would completely heal him like an elixir. And Elixir, on the other hand, kills him, but it doesn't remove his MP, so you have to make sure to give him a Turbo Ether first, otherwise it's gonna use Pandora's Box once it dies. Yes, if it tries to cast Pandora's Box, but it has not enough MP, that still counts as if it has used it. I mean, technically it has. I mean, I guess you could debate that whether it technically has or hasn't. I mean, I guess the reason why it can only use Pandora's Box once is because, you know, from like a logical perspective, once Pandora's Box has been cast and has been opened, there's no need to reopen it. So from like a logical perspective, if it hasn't had enough MP to use it, it should still be able to use it until it has actually been, like, until you have seen the attack once. It should always try to redo it once it dies, but that's not how the game works. Hey, meditation. I mean, what exactly is the single cast bug? I mean, the fact that it only casts Pandora's Box once isn't really a bug, is it? That's just the way it's supposed to work. Yeah, I mean, from my opinion, that's intentional, because it does make kind of sense, doesn't it? Hey Makimakus. But then again, how should you, like, if you can learn the enemy skill, then there's really no way how you would... I mean, if you can only cast it once, then what they could have done is make it not an enemy skill, I guess. But then you wouldn't really care about missing it anyway. I also want to use Knights of the Round in this battle, because then the Sephiroths get more HP as well. So let's just make the fight as hard as we possibly can. Yeah, I already killed all the weapons. I actually think she's almost dead, so let's use that shitty attack now. I mean, she only has 60,000 HP, so you can basically also start the battle with this attack and 1-hit KO her. It doesn't really make a difference. It's kind of interesting though how in her AI there is a line that says that if this attack is used against her, Bizarro and Safer Sephiroth get more HP. Yeah, I mean, so it seems like a cheese protection, an anti-cheese protection. Isn't that funny that they I mean, this game is so full of unused content and glitches that they didn't really feel like working on, but they had the time to have this silly check to make sure that you do not just um, have a too easy time with the final bosses. But I mean, the game doesn't even tell you that if you use Knights of the Round, the next two battles will be harder. Like, you can't even really tell. I mean, if the game like told you that at least, or if they were a line at the opening of the Zaro safe and Safer Sacrifice actually like told you that because you had used Kotter, that now they gain like more HP, then you could like readjust your strategy, but you don't even get that information unless you look into the game codes. Well, I guess that's true. So some of Cloud's weapons actually give him a spirit boost. I wonder if there's a weapon that also gives him a vitality boost. Doesn't seem so. Well, Tifa's pretty good, but she doesn't have level 99, unlike these three characters, so I don't need Tifa. Tifa is garbage tier in this. Yeah, I mean, you actually use a few other pieces of equipment and accessories now, which is indeed interesting. Unfortunately, I don't have any completely AP-free time materia, so I cannot use sneak attack haste all, which kind of sucks. I don't really know yet what I'm going to do after this mod, so let's just spend another 3 hours on this menu. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's really not exactly too much of a danger of me dying, but when does the cookie clicker speedrun start? Well, that's of course an important question. I think I'm finally done now. I mean, the game also wants me to make 3 parties, but who has got time to fight Bizarro several for 3 parties? That's complete garbage. You only use 1 party and just completely out-damage the core. Like, the reason why you even get 3 parties is that in the first party fight, like, the thing you have to kill off, it's constantly healed by one of the other body parts. And you can only kill off that one healing body part if you kill it off in the other 2 fights, but you can just out-damage this thing, so it doesn't really make a difference. Hey Deluxon, how are you? I didn't even know you couldn't reflect demi spells, but apparently you can't. Not that it really matters. What is also really annoying is that whenever one of these body parts is killed and revived, there is a seemingly endless attack animation wait. You know, Vaccine is actually an extremely useful item. It gives you the resist status, which means it makes you immune to status changes. And I gave it because I gave it to Sid and Juffy because I thought that the timer might run out, and it basically works like a death force cast. So if you have death sentence and you use Vaccine on someone, then if the timer runs out of the death sentence, they will not die to death. But you can also use it on enemies, so if you like cast slow on an enemy and then give them a vaccine, the enemy has to first remove the vaccine via D-spell before they can remove the slow. You can actually give him a vaccine if you get like a turn before he gets to cast wall himself, and his wall will not work on him then, which is really interesting. So I used Hades here because it casts slow. Why the fuck does he even use D-spell? Because he's slowed? Interesting. I didn't know he would use Steam now. That was kind of unexpected. So apparently because he used D-spell on his first turn, he used D now. That kind of completely threw me off. So his next attack is going to be Pale Horse, which can inflict Frog and Mini and I think some other status effects. Which is why I gave my characters a vaccine. Well, it also kills, so... I believe he actually will get to cast Supernova now. Which is something you should not have been able to do. Supernova cannot kill you. It's a percentage-based attack. But it inflicts various status ailments, which is also kind of annoying. I mean, he should be dead pretty soon, but... When did you even last see that attack animation, I wonder? I mean, to be fair, Pluto, when this attack was coded, was still regarded as a planet. I mean, nowadays it's only a dwarf planet, so Pluto isn't even really worthy of being used in this attack animation anymore. In the original Japanese version, this attack can actually kill you because it's not percentage based, and it has a different attack animation. But in every other version, this is purely percentage based, so like this attack is fairly like it's not dangerous. It can also inflict status effects, but apart from that, nothing bad can really happen. So I don't know what his next attack is now. Is it Demon again? Or maybe not? I think I'm just gonna heal. Oh, it's an this attack reduces everyone's HP to 1, which is even more pointless because that also cannot kill you. And he's dead. I mean, Pluto is not regarded as a planet anymore. It's on the list of dwarf planets now. I think it hasn't been a planet for like almost 10 years now. Which kind of sounds strange, but then again, it's all about definition, which planet with which astronomical objects are sufficiently large or relevant enough to be classified as planets, and which ones are not. And now Cloud has another breakdown. Like, isn't there some kind of medication for that? I mean, what Cloud suffers from, that the game kind of romanticizes as some kind of being a Genova / Sephiroth clone, in the real world probably would be regarded as some form of schizophrenia. Is that what happens when you die? You just become shiny red orbs and you disintegrate? Oh, I could have the timer end, but this isn't even a speed run, so it's just more like an uptime timer. I haven't actually seen this ending cutscene in quite a while. You know, it's funny how Clouds has one of his trips again that makes him think some kind of celestial hand is reaching out for him. He really has too many hallucinations. I wonder why they couldn't have voice acting for this. They have to subtitle everything. Well, if only I had different people to voice act this with me, I guess I could, but it's too much work to do this all on your own. You know, I think I read somewhere that this game's budget was like $135 million in like 1997. And 100 million of that was just for marketing and for advertisement, for publicity. Yeah, apparently no video game has surpassed that amount of the development money. I mean, not even in like inflationary terms, like that 1997 money, that 135 million would nowadays be like probably 180 or something million dollars. I mean, that was 20 years ago, so you have to probably account for inflation. But no video game apparently has surpassed, even if you like completely ignore inflation, apparently no video game has surpassed even those nominal $135 million for development and publicity. Which I find interesting. I mean, but then again, like, movies probably cost even more than that, right? Like, movies' budgets are easily 100 millions of dollars, at least some movies, I guess. Oh, so apparently the article I read must have been a bit old, because there have been more expensive video games since then. I mean, it doesn't really matter how long you make a game if you pay nobody any wages. You don't really have to spend a lot of money, right? I mean, that's not what I'm trying to imply about FF15, but maybe the game was in the making for like 10 years, but maybe only one person worked on it, or maybe they weren't paid, or maybe they just didn't really account for the 10-year period and just maybe they just, you know, changed their accounting, so they didn't actually officially start making FF15 until 2 years before it was published. 100 to $200 million. Interesting. I wonder what the budget of the most expensive movie ever made was. I mean, but then again, some movies can gross like billions of dollars over the lifetime. I mean, personally, I think most movies are overrated anyway. I don't really get the appeal of a movie. I mean, movies last like 2 hours. You watch them one time, and that's it. There is no replay value in a movie unless you like rent the movie on a DVD or something, or you download it or whatever. But if you just go and watch a movie once, it's not quite the same as playing a video game. I mean, I guess it's true that computer animated images or computer animations can be very expensive, but you don't really have to use the movie. I mean, it probably depends on the movie, but I mean, you can make a movie completely without those. You can just, I mean, first of all, you could do without, or you could just, even if you want them, you can find some cheap workarounds, I guess. I mean, the thing about advertising though is that advertising is supposed to be a cost positive. You're supposed to actually get more money from advertising and not just sink all the money in advertising and have no one be affected by it. I mean, apparently good advertising is supposed to make people want your stuff that you're advertising. I mean, back in the 90s, people didn't really use CGI. They used other spooky techniques. I mean, before CGI really became a thing, people had to use like old-fashioned sleight of hand tricks and stuff to have things that seemed like CGI. Well, but isn't viral advertising kind of difficult? It's like a hit and miss. You cannot really predict so easily or so well what will and will not become viral. There was FF7. No, there was the FF movie. Wasn't it called The Powers Within or something? There was a truly shitty FF movie, as far as I can say. I actually watched it once. That was like, I think at the end of the 90s, Spirits Within. And as far as I can tell, like, nobody liked that movie. I guess if you don't associate it with a Final Fantasy game, then, I mean, I guess if it's just a random movie, it's not that shitty, but it doesn't really do justice to its franchise. It's just some kind of random science fiction movie. It doesn't really have anything to do with Final Fantasy as far as I can tell, so it's a fairly major disappointment for anyone who expects it to have any Final Fantasy connection. I mean, I don't actually know how well Advent Children did, but I guess that movie wasn't such a disappointment. I mean, I have seen it once, and I'm not really too fond of it because the plot is kind of silly, and I don't particularly like the art style. But it surely must have done better than Spirits Within. I mean, it's true, it looks kind of nice. It's just that the characters look quite different in terms of their art style from how they appeared in FF7. Like, Barrett looks like some kind of futuristic cyborg. Tifa looks like some kind of homeless crack whore. And Clouds, I mean, they all look just like drug addicts, if you ask me. They look futuristic, drug addicted, and also kind of dirty and homeless. No offense. And then there's all of these weird Sephiroth spin-off. What are they called? Kadaj and I forgot their names. They just don't really seem to be very well-rounded characters, if you ask me. I mean, FF7's plot probably is silly as well, but it kind of feels, because of its art style and the time it was made in, it seems to be somewhat more reconciliably silly. Gjoerulv made the mods, who is also the guy who made the so-called Gjoerulv Hardcore Mods. Do all humans die? I mean, if you listen closely, you can actually hear children's laughter right now. So it's implied that humans did not go extinct. They just let Midgar go to shit. Which probably isn't even such a bad idea in the first place, because Midgar is kind of North Korea.